Now, this is me in a nutshell. Help! I'm in a nutshell! How did I get into this nutshell? Look at the size of this bloody great big nutshell. What sort of shell has a nut like this? I mean, it's just crazy.
Good day, and how in the heck are you? This is Al Weissman welcoming you to the latest and greatest edition of In a Nutshell. I hope that you'll find today's show fun. Crank up your pewter, go to that website, and you can actually see our guests in the studio while they're visiting with us, and you can hear them as well. Last week, we were fortunate to have been visited by James Woolley, a guitarist, singer, songwriter, his friend Ulla, and Ulla's daughter Nina. Woolley, a native Chicago and currently resides in Lake County, Illinois, is a past member of Nine Inch Nails. I established my unburnished credentials as someone utterly lacking in knowledge of industrial rock and related musical genres, a fact that I never thought would stand as an impediment to anything in my life until I found myself interviewing someone known for his participation in an important industrial rock band. Fortunately, Mr. Woolley was very gracious and talkative, so that my ignorance on the subject did not inhibit him from speaking quite freely about his musical experiences. James Woolley was a great guest and is a great member of the local community of musicians. While he was here, Woolley extended an invitation to the listening audience to attend a blues jam then scheduled for last Saturday night in Round Lake Park, which I had intended to attend. Unfortunately, I had a previously scheduled endoscopy early last Saturday afternoon. When they were finished with me, I didn't feel much like doing anything but sleeping. I was really out of it, so I simply couldn't make the blues jam. Sorry, James, but thanks for the invite, and thank you so much for appearing on In a Nutshell. The station IT team is still trying to locate the show from last week, and the station computer, which has been a real problem around here lately, but we've got other means at our disposal now for recording shows. Unfortunately, that didn't help us last week. I'm still holding out hope that they'll find it. During the first hour of today's In a Nutshell, we'll be spending time with Liz Turner, quite an accomplished vocalist. I want to remind you that our Facebook site is located at www.facebook.com/inanutshellwithal.Weissman, where Dolores and I post announcements each week about things like who will be on that week's show, usually a sample of that individual's musical talent. There's an ongoing list of what guests we expect on future shows, occasional interesting musical blurbs, fun facts, and other crap. So you may want to check out our Facebook site. That's www.facebook.com/inanutshellwithal.Weissman. And if you click on the little teeny tiny box at the top of the page where it says like, all announcements about future shows, etc., ad infinitum, ad nauseum that I've already mentioned above will appear on your feed. These will not mess up or hog your feed, as we don't perpetually throw things up there. We do it very tastefully and discreetly so as to keep you informed and not crowded out of your own Facebook page. Although we do encourage performing artists who wish to do so to post announcements of upcoming gigs, performances, CD releases, tours, or whatever may be of interest to those of us who attend such matters or who are interested in such matters. We were hoping that Joe Molman would join us again today, but it doesn't look like that'll be possible. Joe, whose friends call him Mojo, is a longtime rocker from the Chicago scene and organizer of the Facebook site Music Connection. He appeared on the show once before as co-host and helped interview our guest that day. Earlier this year, Joe received bad news from his doctor that he had a form of cancer and has been receiving treatments ever since. So he takes chemotherapy on a regular basis, which leaves him feeling unwell often and unable to participate in a nutshell. The medical treatments Joe has been receiving have been extremely costly. Insurance is not covering it all for Joe, so a fundraiser has been planned. Gale Force Productions presents Beating the Odds benefit for Mojo. The MC of the day is going to be Dan Buck, a Rockin' Daddy, 50-50 raffles, silent auctions, Bloody Mary Bar, Sunday brunch. You must be over the age of 21 and be able to prove it in order to get in. Entertainment will be from 1 to 2 p.m. Kevin Lee and the Kings, 2:15 to 3:15 the Blues Mavericks, 3:30 to 4:45 Valeside, and 5 to 6 p.m. Half Bitten Moon. Tickets will be available online soon, and a trust has been set up for donations at the McHenry Savings Bank at 815-385-3000, where you can call to get information on making a donation. So if you'd like to make a donation, call the bank. They'll be happy to give you all necessary information. Hoping you feel better, Mojo. Now I'd like to introduce our first guest of the day, Liz Turner. Good afternoon, Liz.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Accompanying Liz is Elle Morgan, who visited us a month or so ago, at which time she demonstrated some outstanding artistry.
Oh, I thank you. Hello.
How are you, Elle?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Elle is a singer and songwriter and will be performing this fall at the WRLR Awards ceremony, which is a cool honor. So welcome back. Liz accompanied Elle when Elle appeared on In a Nutshell, so we welcome Liz back. It's not her first time appearing on the show. So could you please say something briefly about yourself to our listening audience?
Okay. Well, I'm a musician, I suppose. I don't do much of the acoustic stuff anymore, but we started, I think, our sophomore year in high school, so a few years ago, in a band, and that's how I got started performing, and I've transitioned slowly into more of like a classical sort of performing. So, yeah, I'm excited about that, to go into college and do that.
That's cool.
In my career, yeah.
Very cool. And we're going to ask you about 10,000 questions about everything you just said during the course of this show today. But before we do that, now, as I understand it, you and Elle are actually a duet. Is that correct? Called Halo Shade?
Yeah.
So,
we were for a while. We it's kind of been put to rest a little bit just because school got busy and
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be going our separate ways in the next couple months, so
that's
been
you're
kind
going to
of
different schools in the fall.
put on hold, yeah.
But we're going to get a taste of it today, yes?
Yeah, us working together, yeah.
Okay, cool. So now, Liz, would you be kind enough to perform a tune for us?
Yeah, okay. So this is I Will Follow You Into the Dark by Death Cab for Cutie. It's one of my favorite songs.
Very
so
cool.
Here we go. Right. Love of mine, someday you will die, but I'll be close behind. I'll follow you into the dark, no blinding light or tunnels to gates of white, just our hands clasped so tight, waiting for the hint of a spark. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, and illuminate the no's on their vacancy signs, if there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark. In Catholic school, as vicious as Roman rule, I got my knuckles bruised by a lady in black, and I held my tongue as she told me, son, fear is the heart of love. So I never went back. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, and illuminate the no's on their vacancy signs, if there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark. You and me have seen everything to see, from Bangkok to Calgary, and the soles of your shoes are all worn down. The time for sleep is now. It's nothing to cry about, 'cause we'll hold each other soon in the blackest of rooms. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, and illuminate the no's on their vacancy signs, if there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark. I'll follow you into the dark. I will follow you into the dark.
Nice. Elle Weissman, in a nutshell. I have to cough. I'll be right back. You are happy that I didn't do that on this microphone. We just heard Liz Turner perform I Will Follow You Into the Dark, which was, of course, originally done by Death Cab for Cutie. Liz, how did you come to choose that song? I know you said it was one of your favorite songs, but how did you come to choose it for today? It is beautiful and bizarre.
Oh, thanks. Well, it's weird. I didn't really listen to music much when I was a kid. I think from kindergarten on, I obsessively listened to Hilary Duff, especially her Metamorphosis CD. Okay. And so she was the only person I listened to. And then right after that, I think 5th grade, I got really into Death Cab for Cutie. So I'm from Hilary Duff to Death Cab for Cutie. And I don't know why. I heard one of their songs on the radio, and I don't know. It was just what I liked. His voice. I think Benjamin Gibbard's voice is like, I want to marry it. It's amazing. And so I got into that, and especially because it's a more folky sort of song, and I've always sort of liked a soft, acoustic-y, folky sort of sound. So, anything pretty like that, I really connect with. So
it is a kind of a bizarre message about death and love. Yeah. Which is not exactly common among love songs.
No.
What about the religious aspects of that song? Did that appeal to you somehow?
Not really. I'm actually not very religious. I don't really focus on it in my songs. I don't know. I'm from an agnostic sort of household, so we don't really talk about that as much. So it's funny, though, because I have performed in, like, church groups and things like that, and at the same time, I'm not very religious, so I don't really pick songs that have a whole lot of religious connotation, but
do you think
it is romantic, I think, and it's for more than just a Christian sort of person, I think.
Well, it's specifically Catholic, the way that the verbiage is in the body of the song.
Yeah.
Purgatory mentions Catholic and the black veiled teacher. And
yeah. Again, at the same time, though, especially in the second verse when he's talking about Catholic school, he's not exactly supporting it. It was not something that he particularly enjoyed and believed in during his childhood. So I think, it's about him trying to find, his own sort of belief system and trying to find someone else to to be with when things get hard and when, you go into the dark, into the unknown, and you don't understand what's happening.
Which I think a lot of Catholics could identify with, as well as a lot of non-Catholics. But I mean, there's a lot of people that are looking for direction, but these kinds of iconic symbols, which are kind of unique to Catholicism, would probably stick in the mind of an individual raised in that environment, even if they didn't consider themselves Orthodox. So I don't know, just some thoughts on that. So when did you first get involved with music? Tell us about that.
Well, I think it all started when I was in 4th grade, and I never thought about music before. And my parents, they said, all right, you're going to join band, and you're going to like it, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I said, no, that's stupid. I hate music. Music is boring. And so I ended up joining, and I learned to play flute, and I actually really liked it. And it's not the kind of music I do now, but it's kind of what launched me into that sort of world and gave me a basis for, what I do today.
Sure. So. Well, what choice do you have, first of all, when you're 9 years old?
Yeah.
But are either of your parents musical?
No. No one in my family is musical, which is weird.
When you say no one, do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a twin sister.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she must be a pretty lady.
And we don't look the same. She's different. So she's much shorter than me. So if you're listening right now, Laurel, I'm really sorry. But...
This isn't like twins where one...
No, she's fraternal, so we don't look exactly like,
okay.
And she looks a lot younger, and that's just a fact.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no one in my family is musical.
Not aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents?
I mean, apparently I had like a great aunt, Marion, who sang at weddings.
Okay.
Apparently. I've never met her. I don't know. I mean, my grandfather sings very loud in church. He's not particularly good at it, but he likes singing. So maybe I get it from that. I don't know.
All right, that counts. That counts. Would you be kind enough to play another tune for us?
Yeah. Hold on. Switching instruments here.
Okay.
Am I holding that? So this is a ukulele song. It's I think it's called "Take Your Love with Me" by Sophie Madeline. So here we go.
Thank you.
I could navigate the ocean in a homemade boat, fly across the desert on a 10-pound note. I could do most anything if everywhere I go I can take your love with me. I could tame the wildest animals with just one stare. I'd even take my chances with a polar bear. I could be in mortal danger, but I wouldn't care if I can take your love with me. And so you made me a promise that you would always be around, and you would stay true and honest, because I need you in my pocket, in my heart, and in my head. And I just had to find a way to take you everywhere I went. And so I bought a ukulele with a message inside that I should always have you with me, never leave it behind. Oh, now everywhere I play it, I will keep you in mind. If I can take your love with me, if I can take your love with me, if I can take your love with me.
Very, very nice.
Thank you.
You're pretty good on the uke.
That's like the one song I know.
It counts. It definitely counts. We just heard Take Your Love With Me on the ukulele, which was very, very lovely.
Thank you.
So what made your parents choose the flute, if there was a rationale behind that?
Well, it's a funny story, and it's not really funny, but I went in to choose my instrument, and I always thought, I don't know, I was really excited about doing clarinet for some reason. I don't know why. I just thought, that's the instrument for me. That's what I want to do. And so I went in, and I was 9, and I'm really shy, so I went in, and she... It's hard to find someone to play flute that young, I think, because, the way you play, there's an embouchure, a certain way you position your mouth, and some kids just can't do it.
Sure.
So if you can find someone who does it right away, that's good. So
you're the one.
Yeah, I walked in, and she, the band director there, she did that. She's like, all right, I want to see if you can play it like this. And I did, and she's like, all right, you're playing flute. And I was too afraid to say, well, I wanted to try another instrument. So I said, okay, and I just left. And so that's how it was an accident, I suppose, but, it works. I think, it just works for me. I don't know.
Cool. Well, I love the flute. It's one of my favorite instruments. I used to be pretty good friends with the head of Chicago Flute Society, and I used to listen to their recitals from time to time, and I always loved that. So did you stay with the flute?
Yeah, all the way through high school I did. I was in band all through high school. I was kind of sentimental for some reasons because when I joined choir and everything like that, it became more of a back burner sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But, it was something that I did, growing up. It was like part of my identity, so, I continued to do it. And I might do it in college. We'll see about that. But, it was more of I had to keep doing it because it was something that I started with. Cool.
Very cool. So you obviously play the guitar, you play the uke, you play the flute.
Yes.
Are there any other instruments you play?
I sort of halfway play keyboard. I know a couple songs halfway. I can play like the beginning part of Fur Elise. So, it doesn't count, but I'm going to count it.
I can play the beginning part of Fur Elise, and I can't play anything.
See, well, that's what we have in common. See, as long as I can play that, I'll count it.
Okay, sure. Now, when you were in high school, did you participate in any of the activities like chorus, band, any of the plays, anything of that nature?
Yeah, my sophomore year, there was the first time I auditioned to be in the musical production that year, which was Chicago. And I've always been really shy, but I've always really, the epitome of greatness for me is someone who can get up there and really perform and sing and dance and act and just become a character on stage. And just, because that for me was always scary growing up, especially because I was so shy and self-conscious all the time. So that's what I wanted to do, and I never thought I'd actually do it. And then I had a friend who, he just suggested, hey, why don't you audition? Probably, he told that to everybody, but I was like, oh, well, he believes in me. So I auditioned, and I made it, and so that really launched everything else for me.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I did musical theater all the way through the rest of my years, so that was really fun. I was really excited for a senior year. I had a supporting role in our production of How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. So that was like the epitome of my senior year. I played Miss Jones, and I had a big solo on top of a balcony in a sparkling gold suit. It was really exciting. So
cool. That's really cool.
It was, for someone who's so shy like me, it was really exciting to go up there and not be shy, because I had prepared it, a million times, and I was with a bunch of people that I just adored. I just loved it, and a really supportive audience, and it was a really good time.
Nice.
It really helped my confidence, I think.
Those are both really good plays.
Yeah. And
I'm sure you did a magnificent job.
Thank you. Well, I think I did.
Then
thanks.
So while you were doing high school, you also participated in church groups and local house shows.
Yeah, mostly with, Elle Morgan was kind of she was the connector. She, she because she's more of the acoustic artist, she knew who to talk to, she got more invitations for gigs than I ever could. So, she really connected me to a lot of that stuff. So we did a lot of shows together.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It's good to know somebody like Elle Morgan.
Yeah, she could be a manager too.
Yeah. Besides being a really nice person.
Yeah.
So now, getting back to you and Elle Morgan, when did this Hallow Shade group develop?
Why don't you take that, Alexis? I'm not really sure.
Okay, well, it's funny. She talked about flute earlier. I actually came to play flute in pretty much the exact same way. I was looking at flute versus clarinet, and I went in there, and I could not play the clarinet. She's like, why don't you try flute? I'm like, fine. And so I tried it and ended up working out. And so we actually have played in concert band together since 4th grade.
Yeah, so all the way through high school.
Yeah.
Was that how you met?
Yeah, basically. Because we were in the same class. We didn't talk to each other.
Yeah.
But through concert band, we ended up becoming friends.
We met,
and so,
we moved up to the same groups at the same time.
Yep, we did.
Nice.
We actually skipped the middle band. There was a beginner, a concert band, and a symphonic band, and we both skipped concert band together. Only 4 kids did that.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting for a 5th grader.
Yeah, it was. It was very exciting for a 5th grader. And so in high school, we had another friend who we talked about a little bit last time, but the three of us, the international lawyer we talked about last time.
Or Lake County divorce attorney. We don't know which yet.
She's actually listening. She's actually watching on the
I meant nothing harmful by that, dear. Please don't be offended.
But yeah, so the 3 of us ended up creating a little band.
I don't even know you. So.
We don't even know your name. But yeah, the 3 of us ended up creating a little band, and then when that kind of didn't work out, then the 2 of us kind of continued together. So that was where Hollow Shade came from.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Very nice. And I understand that Hollow Shade is producing an EP. Is that true?
Well, we're kind of working on it. It's a cover EP.
Yeah, it has one original on it. But yeah, we do mostly covers. We don't have a whole lot of time to get together and write. And Elle Morgan is the writer, so she does all that. But we've been so busy, so it's on hold right now. But I'm hoping sometime in the next 4 years it'll come out.
Have you actually done any recording towards this?
Yeah, we have actually recorded with a couple people. We recorded the original with a friend of ours, and then we recorded the other 3 covers with a different friend of ours. And so we were going to kind of bring them together. But we have yet to go back and fully finish those, mixing them and all that. Plus, we might want to just redo the whole thing anyway.
Okay.
Subtext, Alexis wants to redo the whole thing. I'm okay with it.
Well, can you play another tune for us, please?
Yeah, sure. This one is Someday When I Stop Loving You. It's a Carrie Underwood song, and I just play it at all my shows. So.
Okay.
Right. One foot on the bus, about 9:30. I knew that you were leaving this time. I thought about laying down in its path, thinking that you might get off or that. I remember that night we laid in bed, naming all our kids that we hadn't had yet. One for your grandma and one for mine. Said we draw straws when it came time. I'll move on, baby, just like you. When the desert floods and the grass turns blue. When a sailing ship don't need her moon. someday when I stop loving you. I bet all I had on a thing called love, I guess in the end it wasn't enough. It's hard to watch you leave right now. I'm gonna have to learn to let you go somehow. I'll move on, baby, just like you. When the desert floods and the grass turns blue, when the sailing ship don't need her moon, it'll break my heart, but I'll get through. Someday when I stop loving you. Ooh, oh, someday, oh, someday I'll move on, baby, just like you. When the desert floods and the grass turns blue, the sailing ship don't need her moon, it'll break my heart, but I'll get through. Someday when I stop loving you, someday when I stop loving
Lovely, really lovely.
Thank you.
Al Weissman, in a nutshell, that was Liz Turner doing Carrie Underwood's Someday When I Stop Loving You, and it was extremely nicely done.
Thanks, thank you.
Sure. At this time, we must give a few minutes to the generous folks who help pay some of the bills around here. Tracy in underwriting works really hard to get the sponsors who help float the boat around here. So the least I can do is play their messages. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. Do not touch that dial.